Your dog may notice your sadness before you do. Not the story behind it, not the exact reason, but the change. The moment you walk in quieter than usual. The way your shoulders drop. The way your voice loses its normal shape. The way you sit down without doing the little things you normally do. To another person, it may look like nothing. To your dog, it can look like the whole room changed. Maybe you have felt this before. You come home after a hard day and try to act normal. You put your keys down. You do not cry. You do not explain anything. You do not even call your dog over, but it comes anyway. Slowly, carefully, it stands near you for a second, as if checking the weather around your body. Then it leans against your leg, or rests its head on your knee, or simply lies down close enough to say, without words, "I am here." That is why this behavior feels so powerful. A dog does not need to fix the sadness. It does not need to understand the problem. It only needs to notice that you are not yourself. And dogs are very good at noticing when normal changes. That is the first key. Your dog knows your routine, not in a vague way, in a very practical way. It knows how you usually open the door. It knows the rhythm of your footsteps. It knows the sound of your keys, your shoes, your bag, your voice, even the way you move through the room when everything is fine. A dog lives close to your patterns. So when the pattern breaks, the dog pays attention. Maybe you do not say hello the same way. Maybe you walk past the kitchen without checking anything. Maybe you sit on the couch and stare at the floor. Maybe your body becomes slower, heavier, quieter. You may think you're hiding it, but your routine is already speaking. And your dog has been listening to that routine for months, maybe years. Here's the second key. Dogs read bodies. They watch posture, movement, tension, and direction. They notice if your hand hangs differently. They notice if your face is still. They notice if you turn away from them or move less than usual. This does not mean your dog understands sadness as an idea. It means your dog is reading signals, a softer voice, a slower walk, less eye contact, a different breathing rhythm, a body that does not move the way it normally does. For dogs, these signals matter because they are social animals. They do not only survive by smell and speed, they survive by paying attention to others. A dog in a group has to notice mood, tension, play, danger, calm, warning, and invitation. Living with humans gave dogs a new group to study, us, and over time, many dogs become very good at reading the people closest to them. This is where the bond becomes important. A random dog on the street may not know you're normal, but your dog does. Your dog knows the version of you that laughs, the version that rushes around in the morning, the version that comes home tired but still smiles, and the version that walks in carrying something heavy, even if your hands are empty. That last version is the one your dog may approach differently. Now, there is another layer people often underestimate: smell. A dog's nose is not just a stronger version of ours. It is almost a different sense of reality. When people are stressed, anxious, afraid, or upset, the body can change in small chemical ways. Sweat changes, breath changes, skin changes. Even the way you smell after a long day can be different from the way you smell when you are calm. You may not notice any of it. Your dog might. That does not mean dogs smell sadness, like a word printed in the air. It is probably more like a set of clues arriving together. Your smell is different. Your voice is different. Your posture is different. Your routine is different. One clue might mean nothing. Several clues together mean something changed. And when something changes in the person a dog is bonded to, the dog often comes closer. Not always. Not every dog reacts the same way. Some dogs become gentle. Some become restless. Some bring a toy, because in their world a toy is a solution. Some climb onto the couch. Some sit at your feet. Some simply watch you from across the room, waiting to see what you do next. That difference matters. A dog's personality matters. Its past matters. Its training matters. The strength of your bond matters. A rescue dog may respond differently from a puppy. A high-energy dog may offer play. A calm older dog may offer stillness. So no, dogs are not perfect emotional machines. They can misread things. They can confuse sadness with tiredness, sickness, stress, or even a change in schedule. Sometimes the dog comes close because it wants attention. Sometimes it brings a ball because it wants to play. Sometimes it stares at you because dinner is late. Dogs are amazing, but they are still dogs, and that is exactly what makes this interesting. Their response does not need to be human to be real. A dog does not have to think. My person is emotionally overwhelmed. It does not need that sentence. It does not need our words. It works with what dogs understand: closeness, tone movement, smell, routine, the emotional weather of the room. And sometimes that is enough. Think about what happens when a dog puts its head on your knee. It is such a simple action. No explanation, no solution, no advice. Just wait. Warmth, presence. And somehow that can cut through the noise better than a conversation. Because sadness can make people feel separate from the world. You can be in the same room as everyone else and still feel far away. A dog closes that distance in the most basic way possible. It comes near. That is not complicated, but it is powerful. There is also a reason this feels so different from human comfort. Humans often try to say the right thing. Dogs do not. They do not ask you to explain yourself. They do not rush you into feeling better. They do not make the moment about the correct words. They just respond to the shift. And because the response is so simple, it can feel honest. You might tell everyone you are fine. You might even believe it for a while. Then your dog walks over quietly, leans into you, and suddenly the performance feels harder to keep up. Not because the dog exposed you, because it noticed you. There is a difference. And maybe that is the real reason people feel so deeply seen by dogs. Not because dogs understand every part of human sadness. They do not. But because they are present for the part they can understand. The lowered energy, the changed voice, the slower movement, the different smell, the broken routine, the person they know suddenly not moving through the world the same way. That is enough to make many dogs pause, and sometimes it is enough to make them stay. This does not mean you should expect your dog to carry your emotions. Dogs need care too. They can become stressed by constant tension in a home. They can react to conflict, sadness, and fear, even when nobody explains what is happening. So the bond goes both ways. Your dog may comfort you, but your calm can comfort your dog too. Your steady voice, your routine, your touch, your breathing, those things matter to them as well. That is why the relationship is not just dogs help humans. It is more like two nervous systems sharing a home. Two creatures learning each other's patterns, one with words, one without them. And maybe that is why the quiet moments feel the strongest. Not the tricks, not the commands, not the dramatic stories, just the dog walking over when you did not ask, the head on your lap, the body beside your feet, the eyes watching you without judgment. A dog may not know the reason you are sad, but it can know that something changed, and in its own language, it can answer. I noticed. I am here. You are not alone in this room. So the next time your dog comes close when you're trying to hold everything together, do not rush past the moment. It may not be mind reading, it may not be magic, but it is attention, memory, scent, routine, and bond coming together in one quiet act. Your dog has spent hundreds of ordinary days learning what you're like when you're okay. So when you're not okay, it may notice the difference. And then, without saying a single word, it does the simplest thing it knows. It comes closer.